For a channel partner, it might seem competitive at first glance, but actually a channel partner can very quickly not only just retire these Macs, but they can start to have a conversation with a customer about digital procurement advisory, about modernizing their entire application portfolio. And then from the customer, you're getting the best of both worlds. Yes, you can take a direct private offer from an ISV, but channel partners are the ones that are delivering on trusted advisor status, on your overall cloud maturity, that cloud agnostic single lens. They're building the tool. They're the ones that have got the technical expertise. They are the ones that are looking at the tooling, delivering observability and all these kind of good things. All the modern categories that might be cloud marketplace delivered because they're elastic. Actually, the trusted advisor status of a partner is real customer value.
Learn how to master cloud marketplaces in just 5 weeks with our cohort course. Accelerate your growth by tapping into the $300+ billion cloud spend that enterprises have committed to AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud. Discover the future of go-to-market with Roman. During 10 weekly sessions, you'll learn how to leverage this fast-growing channel and network with top industry experts and partnership leaders. We will dive into marketplace strategies, internal buy-in, building relationships with the cloud, and mastering co-sell. Join our upcoming cohort.
Thank you so much, Darren. Darren Sharpe from Microsoft. Darren has incredible experience. Not only he's Microsoft commercial lead in the UK for service partners, but he also spent almost 5 years in AWS before as a senior channel partner, business development manager. So he knows clouds inside out, and he's been working with his partners for many, many years. He's one of the most eloquent and talented speakers who can explain marketplace well.
I joined Microsoft in the UK subsidiary to build out this channel mechanism with some of the new things that we're building in Microsoft. But I just thought I'd set the scene today, positioning cloud marketplaces to channel sellers. And the reason why I've put this in, I learned kind of this is how a way to get channel sellers at least engaged and understanding where some of this stuff came from. And actually, when I drag my Blockbuster card around with me to events and hold it up in front of audiences, it gets a pretty interesting reaction. The reason why I show this is to emphasize the point that not everybody's going to understand this. It involves a different transformational way. Well, it's delivering business transformation, isn't it? It's a very different way to how many people, particularly in the channel, have done this for a long, long time. Now, if I draw the Netflix analogy here, we're all familiar with Netflix versus Blockbuster. When I hold that card up at a partner event, I got a great reaction a couple of weeks ago. I said, does anybody remember this? This lady at the front of the room, she put her hand up, really excited. Yeah, I remember that, Darren. Do you remember? Please be kind, rewind. So it's nice to talk about those nostalgic things, but in spite of that, this transformation here, it wasn't until 2007 that the CEO of Netflix saw an opportunity to streamline the way we consume video tech. And it wasn't perfect off the bat. Far from it. It was a pretty disastrous experience, but actually pretty quickly that digital transformation overtook the world. The key takeaway here is this took a long time. That's an 18-year transformation journey, and Blockbuster knew this was happening and chose not to at many stages to adopt that transformation. You know, that point of intersection where both organizations were $3 billion was only a year later that my card doesn't work anymore. And this is the classic kind of procurement complexity slide from Gartner, that if you type procurement process, enterprise procurement process into Google, you're going to see this. But I like to position the cloud marketplace angle as helping partners and customers and ISVs come together in the cloud to get involved at the problem identification area. And that's where we're going to go today. For the hyperscalers, you know, this is about buy versus build. We know our customers are becoming buyers, not builders. They're not necessarily building with cloud native tools. They want to buy a 95% best fit solution and customize around the edge. Well, that's SaaS. That's containers. That's all the modernized delivery application methodologies that we're now working with. 85% of cloud marketplaces SaaS. That global that software market is about 2.5 times as large as the global cloud infrastructure market. So it's super important for the hyperscalers that we have mechanisms that encourage our ISV partners to be building on the platform. And if you're using best-in-class AI tools, you're going to need to be in the cloud. You need to be close to that, those LLMs to get best use of it. So we need to encourage our ISVs to build on the platform, and we need to encourage our customers and partners to be consuming in an elastic way, and our partners to be talking through ecosystems and adjacencies. Lots more data here. So you'll be familiar with this, an understanding that the VC organizations that back a lot of these SaaS companies, organizations like Wiz, you heard from Nadav, Wiz being the fastest growing SaaS organization, I think, by ARR today. They're all cloud marketplace first. And that channel element to those SaaS organizations probably starts at 20% channel source business today, whereas typically in an IT world, a typical IT vendor will have 80% channel source business. So that gap is a real opportunity as SaaS organizations look to increase customer stickiness, get involved in the partner capability, in trusted advisor status, and that ecosystems and adjacencies piece.
So you're saying that typical technology company has 80% channel, and then sort of like those who go through marketplace, they have 20% channel?
I think it came out of the Fast Track SaaS 100, some analysis of that. I would try and find the paper, Roman, that they only have 20% channel source business, but that's a direction of travel. They want to build high propensity channels, and they're using cloud marketplaces to start to deliver channel as a service as that grows, because they can all see that channel presents that sticky, repeatable, high customer intimacy. It's not just about a buying approach, it's about scaling your selling approach. Let's just look briefly at the Microsoft view of the world, and what we do have, which I think is well known, is high customer engagement in the enterprise. We have a huge commercial marketplace offering with a lot of listings, and we have some real nuances in the platform that Microsoft hasn't been great about shouting about yet, that deliver some real competitive advantage. So retiring those customer cloud commits, the max in a Microsoft world, is really important, and those channel mechanisms will be able to retire that. Actually, the power in the platform is that Microsoft already has 141 geographies in 17 currencies and 52 tax managed entities. Actually, the other hyperscalers are playing catch up there. And that's because Microsoft has been partnering for, 40 odd years or whatever it is. The pedigree in platforms, in programs, and in partners, so 3 Ps, is incredible. And it's why I joined. It's a kind of exciting opportunity to build this out with what is already a super capable platform. Satya called FY24 for Microsoft, which we're nearly halfway through, the year of the marketplace. We have now quoted all our sellers on MBS, or marketplace build sales. And that was new for this fiscal. That's a transformational change for an organization that, from a cloud perspective, is really focused on driving what we call ACR, Azure Consumer Revenue. So that shift to actually driving the customer outcome and building the right solution portfolio based on software is an incredible direction of travel. And this is really what I've been building and what I've been learning from these partners for quite some time. For a channel partner, it might seem competitive at first glance. That's why we start with maybe some really simple analogies about changes in buying habits. But actually, a channel partner can very quickly not only just retire these Macs, but they can start to have a conversation with a customer about digital procurement advisory, about modernizing their entire application portfolio. A channel partner seller community, they want to understand who's in the club, who is delivering, who is marketplace delivered, but channel first. And I point to, some of the kind of great platform ISVs like Nerdio. Nerdio is delivering Azure Virtual Desktop Management effectively through Azure Marketplace, and they are channel first but marketplace delivered. So marketplace manages the elasticity, but it's a channel first private offer because they understand that's where the scale comes from. Now, for the partner and ISV relationship, what many partners are doing is they are stack ranking their ISVs based on their marketplace propensity. So those partners are going to have marketplace alliance leads. They're going to have, certainly in the Microsoft world, a huge Microsoft team that those ISVs can start to build adjacencies with, to build those selling practices with. It's also a good lever into not just enterprise, but SMB. We know from many analysts that something like 40-something% plus of cloud marketplace use sits within the SMB space. So for us, that CSP private offer process, which is where we're giving the partner a wholesale discount to be able to use for all the customers that are buying Azure from those partners directly. So the partner's managing the bill. That kind of wholesale private offer process within our CSP mechanism is really gathering pace. That represents probably 25 to 40% of those partners' customer bases. And then also they're using the tools in the platforms, as I was just saying, to start to build services. They are building digital procurement advisory services. They are building private marketplace curation services to help customers manage that cloud team, the line of business buyer, to help them manage things like SaaS sprawl, over licensing of crossover tools, those sorts of things. And, two different lenses on the different ISV world, because I think it's important to break this down. Why is a cloud marketplace and channel important for a very traditional ISV? Because it's again, when I started, certainly, maybe less so now, but it's a really common objection. Why do I need a cloud marketplace as well? I've already got a channel. It's what we hear from, or used to hear from, some of the big, the big ISVs. Actually, a lot of this is falling by the wayside now because they're really seeing this as incremental, net new opportunity generation. And this is the reason why, for those ISVs that are maybe stuck in a network security or data center specialist organization of a partner, it's a way to modernize your message into those partner organizations. You might be transacting double-digit millions with those partners today, but your cloud marketplace opportunity is to co-sell with the hyperscaler and with the cloud elements of those partners, which may well be a new part of the organization for you. And I'm talking about partners that are starting to deliver cloud native services from all of the hyperscalers. They are very often cloud agnostic or multi-cloud, but they're certainly looking for modern tooling and customer first modern solutions to help those customers look at their entire application portfolio, their entire IT infrastructure. And that's not just going to be with those cloud native tools. For the digital native and newer ISV community, a cloud marketplace message and a channel message together will very often accelerate your onboarding into these channel partners, the ones that have got cloud marketplace practices already or are building. And the reason why is because those partners need to look at this partner of the future approach. If I go back to my Blockbuster analogy at the top, and the reason why I called out that was a long time, Azure Marketplace 9.5 years old. I think AWS Marketplace was 11 years old in April this year. Google a little bit further behind. But we're in the double-digit aging of cloud marketplaces now. Back in the days when these were just out there to help developers deploy bits of code, but they've been around for a long time. So if we draw that Blockbuster analogy, we're a long way through this digital transformation journey. We've crossed the chasm. This digital buying, co-selling with the hyperscaler, better together message, and now bringing channel into that is instrumental to the way we will all go to market and co-sell over the coming 3 to 5 years. So actually, for these digital native ISVs, getting a sticky, repeatable seller community that drives scale, that understands a cost optimization message. And that's what a lot of these value-added resellers are doing. Their first foray into selling to cloud customers might well be just selling SaaS, but their long-standing trust with those partners, with those customers, gives them that ability to go and have those conversations. And those